I'm going to show you how you can save Clay credits within Clay, and here's a few different ways that you can do it. So the first one is through conditional formulas. So this one is pretty, uh, actually, maybe it's not as simple as you might think, but I think people will probably know about this. But if you come over to here and you go to and you go to add column in your table, you can come over to here and click on formula. And a perfect example of this could be just saying only run if, the email column, right, final valid email is not empty, right? Which means that the column is only going to run if you've actually got a valid email. If you don't have a valid email, it won't run. So there, at that point, you're only enriching people or companies, but most likely people in this case. You're only enriching people if you found the valid email. If you haven't found it, then it won't enrich, right? So it's just an example of how you can only use credits when a certain criteria or condition is met. So that's the first thing that you can use. The second thing, which is a huge save on credits, is by using APIs. So what I mean by this is just by leveraging or using your own API keys, and especially and particularly around email. So instead of using, right, and let's just say you have like Clay's pre-made waterfall essentially, which is usually Prospio, drop contact, this. Each one of these is 2 Clay credits per each one, right? Which works out and I mean, you're always going to be finding validated email addresses. Like 9 times out of 10, the workflows that you'll be doing will be pulling people's email addresses, unless you do specifically LinkedIn. But normally, most of the time, you'll be finding people's email addresses. So you probably want to sign up to, in our case, what we actually use. We use Prospio for the first one. We use Lead Magic, and we also use ICPs. So we can remove this, and remove this. So we have our own API keys here. So already we're saving 2, 3, 4 credits basically per row, right? Not always 4 credits per row because it's not always going to run. It only charges you a credit if it finds a valid email and so on and so forth. And then on top of that, we actually also use debounce as well, which is we have that to verify. But we only verify for ICPs. Lead Magic will say valid status and Prospero will say valid status, whereas ICPs, I think, that still requires validation. That's how we do it anyways. So all of this is not costing us anything in terms of Clay credits. We're actually just using our own API keys or accounts. I think Prospero for 20K credits, which is what we have, was 199. Lead Magic is like 99 for 10K credits, and ICPs I think is like $60 or $70 or something for 10K credits. Don't quote me on that, something along those lines. So by using these 3 automatically, you are saving on Clay credits. Sure, you're getting cost from purchasing these separately, but it just means that you're not having to use like valuable. You can use the Clay credits for things and getting information that is actually like really useful. Like enriching for their, different data points and so on and so forth. The emails you'll be able to get from an external provider without having to use credits. And if you use credits all the time with finding the emails, you're quite literally going to waste about 2 or 3, maybe 4 credits per person that you enrich and find that email address for. So that's probably the main way that you can save. But obviously, emails isn't the only way. There are obviously so many different data providers and stuff within here. One of the ways that you can save, another way that you can save is obviously by using AI and Claygen, and just making sure that when you use something over and over again within Clay, it's probably better to have your own subscription to that data provider and use an API key from there. If you're using something one-off or here and there, it's probably better to use Clay credits. But if you're using something consistently, like, for example, AI, email finders and verifiers and everything like that, it's probably better to have your own API keys. Otherwise, you'll be charged for. I'm just going to pull this as an example or something. If you have, like for GPT-4, you'll be using 3 Clay credits per enriched row, right? So you don't want to do that. Whereas with your own API account, you can save so much on credits. So that's how I would do it, anyways. So Clay, AI, and emails, or any workflows or any data providers that you use consistently, probably want to get your own API keys. Anything that you use sporadically here and there, that's where you can probably use Clay credits as well. Clay credits and stuff. Another one that you can use is turning off auto run. So if you come over to any of the columns that you have and click on edit column, and you scroll down, normally it's hidden under this run settings. Just make sure you turn off auto update here, right, on the specific column. But you can also do it you can also do it here at the sort of like table level. So if you want to just do it for a specific column, that's how you do it. If you want to do it at the whole table level, you would click here, turn off the table. And that just means that you have to quite literally manually click it to run, right? Which again will save you credits. Another cool way that you can save credits, Smartly is maybe not the best example because it doesn't cost any credits, but like let's just use zero bounce here that we use for this. We can, what am I looking for? I mean, yeah, we can choose number of rows to run. So if we want to only run 10, by the way, just a quick caveat, we're only using zero bounce because we were just testing it out, or never bounce, whatever it's called. We were just testing it out. So normally I wouldn't recommend using an external API key. Like the Clay's credits for verifying emails, because it's costing us a credit, but it's on like a really small scale. So yeah, so what you want to do here, another way of saving credits is to go on to run column and then choose number of rows to run. So if you click on here, then you can only run, say, 10 at a time or 100 at a time if you want to. That's going to be really useful to only do it in small batches if you don't want to do everything. And then obviously you've got the turn off, turn off auto run. So like I said, click here, turn off the table, or if you want to do it for the specific column, you can come over to here and you can go edit, and then you can go run settings and you can turn off auto update. Or you can also click on run column, choose number of rows to run. You can run a small amount at a time. So you can do small batches. And then the final thing is, and this is an auto feature as well, but you can auto dedupe. You can see here it's enabled for the entire table. And you can select which column that you want to auto dedupe. I would normally either do the email column or LinkedIn profile, or even their full name as well, if you have that column. And if you're obviously doing an accounts list or a company list, rather, you can do it on the LinkedIn URL, the company LinkedIn URL, or the website, to make sure you don't have a duplicate of the company. And then obviously by doing that, you're removing to have to use Clay credits across two of the same companies, basically, or two of the same people. So these are a few different ways that you can save Clay credits. The biggest and best way to save them is by using your own APIs for the tasks that you do over and over again, or for the data providers that you use over and over again. For anything that you use sporadically or here and there, probably better to use Clay credits for that. Especially for emails, I would recommend getting your own APIs and signing up to those data providers, whichever ones that you prefer and whichever ones you use. So that's how I would do it, basically. And then obviously all the other ones, turn off auto dedupe, or turn on auto dedupe rather. Make sure that's turn off auto run, only selecting a couple of like rows to run at a particular time, or have once like how many you want, so in small batches. And then the final one that I mentioned was conditional formulas. So you only running certain rows if another row meets or another column meets a criteria. So that's how I would do it. Those are some tips on how you can save Clay credits, and you don't actually have to get like a massive account or anything. You can actually, probably I would recommend getting the $349 a month one, which is a pro plan, and then you'll be able to use like external APIs and everything like that. And you'd be able to literally keep your costs pretty low, probably under $500 with other providers. So yeah, I hope that's useful. And if you want us to, manage and build out any of these workflows or help you with this kind of stuff, and you're stuck or need some help or coaching or anything whatsoever to do with Clay and automation and just helping you with your outbound, feel free to book in a call below. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye.